Hello, people. How goes it? Welcome to this week's edition of Raging with Ryu, my weekly rant of all things that piss me off, gym wise, people wise, experience wise. So, today being January 15th, in advance, happy Martin Luther King Day tomorrow. Um, so, the New Year, New Me crowd still hovering, still kind of invading the gyms. Not so much at Powerhouse where I go, but the gym I take my wife to train her that she's comfortable with. Planet Fitness. People, if you're new to the gym and you're just getting started, ask questions. This past week, I've seen people that are bound to hurt themselves soon. At worst, at best, they're just wasting their time. This one poor lady, she's probably late 60s, maybe early 70s, at least late 60s. And I'm watching her on several of the machines. She sits on, I think it's a Life Fitness type calf machine, very basic calf machine. Put your toes on it, arch your feet down, just basic doing calf movements. Unfortunately, it also goes up further. This poor lady's doing some weird mutant version of leg presses on this thing, getting nothing out of it. Um, and then she'll go to the pec deck machine. I'm sure most of you folks are familiar with the pec deck. It's a good isolation move for the chest. When you sit there and you grab the handles this way, hands about even with chest, squeeze in, flex the chest, back out. This poor lady, her hands are up here. She doesn't adjust it, and she's doing this. And she's bound to screw up her shoulder. She's going to hurt herself. And then she'll switch around and do the reverse pec deck for the rear delts. Again, hands even with the shoulders, and you're going to do this movement. Again, hands are up here, this way, putting all kinds of stress on the shoulder joint. Again, she's not using a lot of weight, so might not hurt herself, but she's not doing herself any favors and she's not doing anything. If you guys are at the gym and you don't have a clue, don't ask the Planet Fitness staff. Their quote unquote trainers really don't have a clue. No idea. Asked one of the stereotypical lunks. Okay, find the guy with the biggest arms, the biggest shoulders, the biggest legs. Ask questions. Forget I said guy. Person. There's some women that are actually in there with decent physiques. They can show you too. Ask them. You'd be surprised. Sometimes the biggest, strongest stereotype in the gym is also the nicest, politest, most well-mannered person who will be more than happy to help you, more than happy to answer any questions you might have. And it's probably the biggest teddy bear you've ever seen. He's not going to bite your head off. He's not going to be a jerk. Ask questions, okay? Don't be that guy. We're happy to answer your questions, help you out. Don't assume we're assholes, and we won't assume you're an uptight, judgmental fuck. Fair enough? Okay. Once again, Planet Fitness, aka Planet Shitness, is the most judgmental place I have ever seen. All over the place, plastered, judgment free zone, the lunk poster that, yes, my wife says that looks like they modeled after me with the gallon jug of water, the stringer tank top, the do rag. You have people complain if you wear a stringer tank top, he's trying to do this, he's trying to intimidate me with his looks, he's, judgment free zone. I saw this girl, I'm not going to lie, the other day. My wife and I are on the treadmill, and I see this girl. I'm only mentioning it. I don't judge. If you're big and you're heavy, that's your business. I don't care. This girl had an ass the size of Cleveland. huge ass, cellulite dripping off her thighs. Now, this girl had the tightest, skimpiest short shorts I have ever seen in my life. And she's walking around parading as the fat is jiggling all over. Again, I don't care. If that's it, you're comfortable with that, you go, girl. That's fine. But don't then turn around and complain that I'm wearing a stringer tank top or I've got shorts on or Gasp Industry sweatpants on that are tight in the thighs and are showing off the quads after leg day. Okay, don't be judgmental. There's got to be one standard, not two. And the ironic thing was this girl sat there for a while and then went in the other room and came back with her Planet Fitness uniform. She works there. Go figure. Yeah. And my wife is giving me the look. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. Leave it alone. Nobody said anything about your stringer. Don't say anything today. So I didn't. Only to her. But you can't have a double standard. You can't be doing this. Okay. Okay, enough on that topic. So again, back to the new year, new me thing. My wife and I had a conversation last week. We went in, we're like, place is mobbed. We can't find a place to park. We got in. There had to be, I mean, it was fairly early. It was on the weekend, I believe. It was like 50, 60 people in there. I think we knew or had seen or familiar with 2 people. Everybody else, brand new. I guess my question is, what is wrong with 20-somethings nowadays? What are they so afraid of? I mean, I thought it was just the women. You walk in and you see the women coming in their first time at the gym. There's 6, 7 women, and they're all, the little posse on the treadmills. You can't get a treadmill anywhere, ironic. And, after a couple days, they disappear and don't come back. But Friday, we're at the gym. There had to be 8 guys training together, all with the stereotypical pants down below their ass cheeks. And how do you keep your sweatpants up if they're below your ass cheeks? So we're on the treadmill doing our 30 minutes of cardio before we're going to do shoulders. 8 guys rotating through on the Smith machine doing bench presses. 30 plus minutes later, we clean the treadmills off. We're done. We head over by the shoulder. They're still on that machine, that bench. 30 plus minutes later. A quarter on each side, 25-pound plate on each side. One guy was fairly good sized, but they're just going through. I mean, why? Remember the good old days in the 90s, early 2000s? You might have 2, 3 tops guys working out together. Your 2 best gym buddies. Why do you need an entourage to go to the gym? It was no one said boo to these guys, even though they were. My wife was somewhat intimidated. She's like, "Can you go get the cleaning stuff over there? I don't want to go over there." And I was like, "What's the problem?" And I walk over. They all had really bad, either gang tattoos or prison tattoos, horrible tattoos. And of course, the one guy who was the head ringleader, gym guy, he's got the teardrop tattoo under his eye. Like, dude, really? Be original. Come on. But nobody said boo, even though it's a judgment-free zone. Yeah, frustrating. So they left, and it got a little bit more workout friendly. So again, you've got the people that are going to look at you sometimes, and that was a theme last week. People need to understand. Like I used to tell my students back at the dojo, no matter how big you are, you're always going to find somebody bigger, stronger, badder than you. Right? I'm doing push downs the other day. Now, I won't get into a big long diatribe, but another one of the times that we were there doing triceps, I had the career arm guy. It had to be done 40 to 60 sets total of triceps. Screwed up my timing. I follow the old combination of Dorian Yates high intensity training and the dog crap style training. It was called, popularized by David Henry back in the day. With the Dorian Yates, you warm up, you go to failure till you get total muscular failure. You drop to a lighter weight, go to a couple more forced reps, drop again the weight so you can't squeeze out one more rep. And the combination with the dog crap style training was you don't go backwards. If you're doing an exercise, you keep your log. The next workout, you should get more reps or more weight. If you get less weight or less reps 2 weeks in a row, you're plateauing. You take exercise out of your routine for a few weeks. I love my push downs. I didn't want to take those out of my routine. I usually start those first in my routine. But this guy was on the machine forever. So I had to start with the dips. I did my dips, my 2 or 3 warm-up sets to get the blood flowing. My 1 set, the failure and drops, still on the push downs. Went over and did my close grip bench presses, got up to 245 on the close grip bench presses. 2 warm-ups, 1 set to failure, drop set, still there. Waiting for a few minutes, he finally leaves. I started my push downs, did my warm-ups, went to my same weight. By the 5th rep, something pulled and popped in here. Luckily, didn't tear, but it's been dinged ever since. So I wear a compression sleeve on this elbow when I do bench, chest, triceps, biceps, to keep it safe, make sure I don't hurt it. So I don't know what this dude was looking at. This dude just watching me do push downs this one day, Friday, last week, not Friday. Just, I look and he's staring at me and he's got the smirk and the head shake and he goes back to what he's doing in the lat pull down. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy's problem? So I finished my warm-ups, max to stack out 200. I'm doing my push downs. I'm just staring at him, eyeballing him, mean mugging him the whole time I do my push downs to failure, drop set, staring at him, drop set, staring at him. I was like, what is going on with you, dude? Are you looking at the compression sleeve? Are you looking at the gas t-shirt? What? Go over the paper towels and the wipes right next to where he is. I walk over 6 inches away from him, getting my paper towels, spraying my stuff, quiet as a fucking church mouse. Didn't say boo. It's like, are you going to shake your head and laugh now and tell me what the problem is? Not a word. Remember, always somebody bigger, badder, meaner than you, okay? And it's usually the people like myself who've trained 30 plus years in the martial arts that have the mindset of it is not worth beating the shit out of you or crippling you or breaking your fucking neck. It's not worth the jail time. So I'm not going to say anything. But mistaking my kindness for weakness, big mistake. You're going to do that to somebody who's not as mature as me, and they're going to beat the fuck out of you in the locker room, dude. Use your head. Ran into the same bullshit at Walmart this weekend, grocery shopping. Went nice and early. Wasn't too many people. Wasn't too bad. My wife likes to start the groceries a certain way, and I wasn't having it this week. We go in all the way to the back of the store, say hello to this woman that works there that we like, and her companion dog, who's just the sweetest dog, loves me. Then we walk down the end of the store, get the dog stuff, all the way to the front of the store, starting the produce, all the way back to the end of the store at the end, where the dog food is anyway. Like, we're just going to start at the dog food and go this way. So our orientation's a little off this week. Get to one aisle, go down. Like, oh, no, this isn't the aisle we need. It's in the next aisle. I'm going to turn around. This older guy just standing there with his cart looking at me like, the sigh, the head shake, the eye roll. And just as I'm about to say to him, dude, you better stop. I'm going to roll that little head on the floor if you don't stop with that bullshit. What is your problem? His wife comes up, puts her hand on my shoulder, says, you need to use your directionals. Ha ha ha. You need to use your blinkers if you're going to be moving around in front of people. I'm like, so caught off guard. This woman said something. I'm like, ah, totally ruined my comeback I was going to give to her husband. But again, it goes back to the be aware of who you're dealing with. Okay. Don't be that guy that's going to get your ass handed to you because you got to shake your head at somebody thinking you're the biggest, baddest mofo in the room. You're not always going to be that guy. Okay. Enough said. What else? What else? Okay. What's can we please stop with all these pharmaceutical commercials? I'm watching these commercials now. I'm reminded, on an off subject, of all the people who are talking about wanting free healthcare, the socialist left-minded people. My uncle and my cousin who live in Sweden, they've lived there forever. They get free healthcare. My cousin, it was interesting. We had a conversation about all the drug commercials on TV, and he said, we don't have that in Sweden. They don't allow that. There's none of that. I mean, he's been to the States before. He goes all over the world traveling. We don't have that in Sweden. With the commercial with ask your doctor about Farziga, ask your doctor about Sabinko, whatever the hell that shit is. We don't have that. If your doctor thinks you need a drug, he will tell you. You don't tell your doctor. Those are illegal in Sweden. We don't allow that in Sweden. I get so upset at these commercials. To the point that my wife wants to slap me upside the head. So we'll just, before she slaps me up inside the head after this podcast, we'll just stop there. But while we're on the subject of the free healthcare, my uncle, way back in the 50s, when he still lived in this country, played Little League in Holyoke, Massachusetts. For people in Holyoke or in this area will know Nick's Nest. It used to be huge back in the 50s, 60s, early 70s. But he played Little League on that team when he was growing up with people like Fran Healy, who used to live in Holyoke, who went on to become a catcher for the New York Mets. I'm sorry, the New York Yankees, my team. He also played Little League with someone who went on to become a very famous heart surgeon who now lives in California and is still performing surgeries out there. When it came time for my uncle, who had a bad heart, to have surgery, instead of going and getting free healthcare and free surgery in Sweden, jumped on a plane, flew over to California, had the surgery done there. And my question to him was, why would you do that? Is that, number one, you don't get a choice in places like Sweden where it's free healthcare. You get assigned a doctor. You don't pick your doctor. You go to the thing, they tell you this is what your problem is, you go here. If it's an emergency, you're going to die that day, they will do something for you that day. If not, you might be waiting 3-6 months for surgery or longer. So yeah, he jumped on a plane, came over here, got it done, and went back home. I know this is off topic, so we'll just leave it at that. But yeah, between that and the commercials on TV, I'm losing my shit lately. My wife gets so frustrated because I yell at the TV. I'm that guy I swore I'd never be. I've turned into my father. Just the commercials and the way they play them. The one about detect this. I'm undetectable now. My level of HIV is undetectable. Detect this. And I'm yelling at the TV, detect this. If you didn't do IV drugs and have unprotected sex with your lover, your gay lover who has AIDS, you wouldn't need this drug. Detect this. And she gets so upset with me at that. Yeah, YouTube will probably fucking take this video down now, but whatever. Um, all these, and then the list of side effects. This drug may kill you. This drug may do this. This drug may increase suicidal thoughts, but it will clear up your skin. God. Ugh. Anyway, so yeah, back to the gym. Before we get taken down. Yes. Uh, if you're having trouble in the gym, if you don't know what you're doing, ask people for help. These poor new year, new me people are going to get frustrated when they strain something, they hurt something, or they're making no progress, and they're going to disappear from the gym again. And we won't see them again until there's a huge influx next year. Don't be afraid to ask the big muscle head in the gym for help. He will help you. Trust me. I asked questions when I first started. People were nice and said, yeah, do this, do that, do the other thing. Very, very rarely, if ever, was I treated with disrespect when I asked questions. Just be humble, ask a question. Don't bother the person during their set. Wait till they're done. Yeah. So that was pretty much what's been eating away at me. So I thought I'd do my weekly rant. If you have anything you'd like me to discuss next week, or you have things that are bugging you and also would like to see me rant about them, feel free to post in the comments. I'm starting to get a few more subscribers and followers. We're almost on the monetization path. So make sure to click the like and the subscribe. Still doing this. It will get better as we go. So I'm going to sign off now. Show you my favorite cup. Cheers. Till next time, guys. Peace.